Imagine waking up tomorrow morning, pouring your coffee, and logging into your workstation, only to realize that, well, your software hasn't actually been waiting for you.
Yeah, it's an unsettling thought for most people.
Right. Because it didn't pause while you slept. It's already read the overnight European market reports. It flagged a critical supply chain disruption and, cross-referenced your inventory to draft 3 distinct contingency plans.
And it didn't ask for permission.
Exactly. It just did it. And welcome to today's deep dive, where we're exploring exactly this. Our mission today is looking at why the foundational software used in businesses every single day is, well, it's about to be completely absorbed by a layer of autonomous AI. We're moving from passive tools to active decision makers.
Which is a massive paradigm shift. I mean, we are heavily conditioned to view enterprise software as a passive instrument.
Like a digital toolbox.
Right, totally inert, just waiting for a human hand to give it direction. But that's changing fast.
It really is. And to guide this deep dive, we are relying on a fascinating article titled The Agentic Shift. And I have to explicitly state right up front, this piece was authored by Marcos Pereira, who is the Executive Director COO and CIO of Snapiens.
Yeah, his credentials are super important here.
Definitely. Okay, let's unpack this. Because the core thesis of his article is that corporate technology is experiencing a fundamental structural realignment. What a lot of people dismissed as an exaggeration just a few years ago is, well, it's an operational reality now.
It's completely unavoidable today, and understanding this shift, I mean, it's literally the dividing line for businesses now. It separates the organizations that will compound their efficiency from those that are just going to spend millions automating pure chaos.
So to understand exactly where the workplace is heading, we really need to look at the outdated model we're leaving behind, right?
Yes, the legacy architecture.
The era of the digital filing cabinet.
That is exactly what it is. Think about the software as a service business model, or SaaS, that we've had for the last 25 years. It relied on seat-based pricing.
So if you have 1,000 employees, you buy 1,000 monthly licenses.
Right, and that created this massive operational limit because the software itself was entirely passive. It really was just a digital filing cabinet with, a nice interface.
So human employees basically had to log in, read the data themselves, make a decision in their brain, and manually type out the updates.
Exactly. The human was the engine. But now we're seeing the rise of what Pereira calls the systems of intelligence layer.
And this breaks that old model completely.
It shatters it. Because AI agents don't wait for clicks. They don't need the interface. They just autonomously read documents and cross-reference logistics via APIs in the background.
So if you have, say, a massive volume of invoice reconciliation to do.
Right, a very common corporate task.
Yeah. And let's say it used to take 30 manual software operators to do it, but now 5 digital agents can process that exact same volume.
The company only needs 5 software seats now, not 30.
Wow. I mean, that is a huge financial shockwave for the traditional software providers. It's causing a major structural valuation adjustment across the industry.
Oh, absolutely. The value is moving from the interface to the intelligence.
It kind of reminds me of a commercial kitchen. So traditional enterprise software is like an expensive, fully stocked kitchen, but there's no chef.
You have all the tools, but no one to use them.
Right. You have the ovens and knives, but you still have to do all the tedious chopping and cooking yourself. But now, with this intelligence layer, it's like the kitchen has suddenly learned how to cook the meal for you. You just oversee it.
That's a perfect analogy. The heavy lifting is outsourced to the system itself.
So I want to see how this behaves in the real world. Because in theory, it sounds great. But the source material contrasts 2 really interesting case studies about a mid-sized logistics enterprise facing a global port delay.
Yeah, logistics is a great stress test for this.
So in the manual approach, the old way, a delay hits, and human managers are just scrambling. They have to log into separate systems, right? The ocean freight portal, customs portals, warehouse inventory, client dashboards.
It's a total mess of browser tab.
Yeah. They're copying and pasting data for hours, calculating penalties in some side spreadsheet, and manually drafting apology emails. The human brain is the only thing integrating all this disconnected software.
Which is incredibly inefficient and prone to error.
Right. But then we look at the intelligent agent approach. Same port delay.
But the AI agent is continuously monitoring the data feeds. It doesn't wait to be told there's a delay.
It spots it instantly.
Exactly. And it autonomously pulls the shipping manifests, calculates the financial penalties, updates the internal warehouse schedules, and drafts personalized customer emails based on their specific service level agreements.
All before the human manager even finishes their coffee. So what is the human actually doing?
The human supervisor just opens a single dashboard. They review the chain of actions the AI proposes, and they just click one button to approve it.
That's wild. The same thing happens in the legal example Pereira gives, right?
Yes. Think about high-volume procurement contracts.
Right. An intelligent agent can just simultaneously analyze like 500 contracts for compliance anomalies. It spots deviations from liability clauses and presents a full risk report to senior counsel in minutes.
Wait, so if the AI is doing everything, if it's pulling the manifests and reading all the contracts, does the traditional software just disappear entirely?
What's fascinating here is that, no, the software doesn't disappear. It gets absorbed by the proactive intelligence layer.
So it just becomes the invisible plumbing underneath.
Exactly. The old databases are still holding the data, but the AI is driving the car. And the real value here isn't just the speed.
What is it then?
It's consistency. It's about overcoming human time constraints. You completely eliminate the cognitive fatigue of, say, junior associates who might miss a liability clause at midnight. The agent doesn't get tired. That makes total sense. But we have to talk about the flip side of this, because it all sounds like a corporate utopia. But what happens when companies eagerly rush to deploy these autonomous agents without a proper plan?
Oh, it gets bad very quickly. We move straight from operational efficiency to catastrophic risk.
The source calls this the danger zone. The automation of chaos.
Yes, unstructured automation is a massive trap. Executive teams absolutely must answer 3 critical questions before they do this.
Okay, what are they?
First, what specific knowledge is the system utilizing? Second, what is the corporate source of truth? And third, who is governing the final outcomes?
Because if you just plug in standard commercial language models without any architecture, they lack business context.
They have zero context. They don't know what's important and what isn't.
Here's where it gets really interesting. It's like handing the keys of a sports car to a highly motivated intern, but refusing to tell them which traffic laws are current and which ones are from 1995.
That's exactly it. The article gives a great example of this. Imagine an agent trying to help a client, but it pulls from an outdated manual in a forgotten digital folder.
Oh no, like an old pricing guide or something.
Exactly. And because it doesn't know any better, it gives a client a legally binding commitment that completely contradicts current company policy. It literally treats a casual Slack chat between employees with the same weight as an official financial statement.
The liability there is insane, especially in compliance-heavy fields.
Oh, in healthcare, finance, or insurance, you can't just have an AI making decisions without an auditable trail.
Because regulators need to see the proof.
Right. If a black box AI denies a loan or, flags a medical claim as fraudulent, and you can't prove exactly why it did that to the regulator,
You're looking at massive financial penalties.
huge penalties, and a complete loss of trust.
So since we know the catastrophic risks of this chaos trap,
Yeah.
how do forward-thinking companies actually build this the right way?
Well, the article lays out the Snapiens framework for corporate intelligence. It requires 3 foundational elements to turn AI into a secure asset rather than a liability.
Okay, let's break those down. First is data architecture stabilization.
Right, which means you have to move away from siloed databases. You need a unified, real-time data core.
So you can't just have stuff floating around in random PDFs.
Exactly. Every playbook, every product spec must be in a verified repository so the agent doesn't just pull from some unverified, outdated file.
That prevents the 2018 policy manual disaster.
Precisely. The second element is complete operational traceability.
Meaning you need a trail of breadcrumbs for everything the AI does.
A permanent, immutable log. So if an agent reallocates a budget line, the log details the exact logic applied to make that decision.
So it's not a black box anymore. You can see the math.
Exactly. And the third element is rigid access permissions and guardrails.
Setting strict boundaries.
Yes. You dictate exactly what an agent can read or write, and you define exactly when it must stop and wait for explicit human approval.
So you can't just send $1 million without someone clicking OK.
Right. If we connect this to the bigger picture, the focus really must shift from simply controlling software to controlling intelligence. That's the real transition here.
That is such a huge shift in perspective. Think about your own workplace right now. I mean, how much of your daily vital data is just sitting in an unverified spreadsheet or scattered across a fragmented chat history.
For most companies, it's a lot.
Yeah, if an AI agent plugged into your system today, would it find a clean data core or just total chaos?
Usually chaos, which is why companies have to act now.
Right. So bringing this deep dive to a close, let's synthesize this into an actionable strategy for the listener's own career or organization. What should forward-thinking leaders be doing today?
First thing, audit your current software expenditures immediately.
Look for the bloat.
Exactly. Find those bloated headcount-based fees, especially for software that just does data entry or basic reporting. That is ripe for replacement.
And second, start centralizing your corporate knowledge right now. Clean data is your core infrastructure.
You can't skip that step. And third, you have to prioritize governance and security from day one.
Meaning, walk away from vendors who can't explain their audit trails, right?
Absolutely. If they can't show you how their human-in-the-loop approvals work, just walk away.
Before we wrap up, we absolutely must reiterate that the foundational insights from today's deep dive came directly from the article, The Agentic Shift.
Which is brilliant work.
It really is. Authored by Pereira. We want to give him full credit for the intellectual work and the entire framework we explored today. It's required reading for this space.
It really is. And this raises an important question.
Oh, what's that?
Well, if our digital tools are evolving from passive filing cabinets into active, autonomous colleagues, how will this shift change the way human performance is actually evaluated?
Wow. Yeah, if humans are no longer executing the manual tasks.
Right. If we're just overseeing the AI, will the defining career skill of the next decade shift from specialized technical execution to basically managerial oversight and critical thinking?
It totally flips what makes an employee valuable.
Yeah.
You aren't doing the task, you're governing the intelligence that does the tasks.
Exactly.
That is a massive shift to think about.
Yeah.
Definitely keep that in mind the next time you log into your daily software and look at your to-do list. Thanks for joining us, and we'll catch you on the next deep dive.